What's up, guys? So today I'm going to start a new series, little series I'm calling The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. What it's going to be on is several of the cars in the collection. Obviously they're going to be cars that I haven't done before, and it's just going to be a new little review series I'm working on. Okay, so to kick off the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly series, I'm in the 1996 Ferrari F355. This is a Spider model, obviously with the manual gearbox. So, quick rundown on the car. This car, has a little over 4,600 miles, so it's pretty much brand new. The background on these cars, this was kind of Ferrari's answer to the NSX. As a lot of you would know, Acura, or in other countries other than the US, Honda, came out with the NSX, and it kind of put Ferrari in their place. A lot of people thought that it was a better car, better performance, and better build quality than the current Ferrari that was out, which was the 348. So this was Ferrari's answer to that. It's a 375 horsepower mid-engine V8. Red wine's at 8,500 RPM, and I believe has a torque of 268 pounds. Correct me if I'm wrong. Car and driver got the car to do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds now. I do believe that is different regarding if it's an F1 car or a manual car. Now to get on to the good. The styling. I think the styling of the 355 is second to none, and this is personally in my top 5 Ferraris of all time, regardless of price. I just think that they're beautiful. Now, another thing that I would classify definitely as a good in this car is the sound. I mean, there's nothing better. And a lot of people consider this to be the best sounding car, not only the best sounding Ferrari, but the best sounding car of all time. And I'd have to agree, it's definitely up there for me as far as sound goes. Another great thing, manual gearbox. Not only is it a manual gearbox, but it's a gated shifter. As you know, a lot of people want the manual cars today. Case in point, that's why Porsche brought out the 911R. Just to kind of satisfy that quench that a lot of people have for a manual gearbox. But even then, with all the manuals out that are still being made today, none of them are gated shifter cars. Which is kind of cool that, you know, you can go back into a Ferrari and they're one of the only ones that has the gated shifter. Another good thing is, unlike the 360, the 430s, even the 575s and 599s, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to look once I get into my warehouse, I could look and get the production numbers, but I believe about 2/3 of all 355s were built with a manual gearbox. Which is great news, because then you're able to actually find a car and you're not paying 3 times the price just for a manual as you would an F1 car. And you can see that night and day in the more modern Ferraris. Case in point is what's a 599 bring with a F1 transmission? You know, 175. Where one with a manual transmission you're looking at north of 500. And that goes down the list. Same thing with the 430s, 575s. Another good thing is, you know that this is a good looking old car when you got a lot of people looking at you. I'm looking in my rearview mirror and I got 3 people just staring at this car. And one of the cool things for me, at least, is in SoCal, older Ferraris, older generation Ferraris, I should say, kind of get thrown away. Not thrown away, but they don't stay here. You never see 430s, 360s, and especially 355s around SoCal very often. Or all the new stuff, which is all great, but it's fun to see the older stuff. So let's go on to the bad part. Bad transmission in this. Not the manual, but the F1 transmission. It's crap. I'm sorry if you've got one, but I don't like it. It's very sluggish, and it's in the early stages of an F1 style transmission. And that's really about the only bad thing when it comes to this car I can think of. Now, to get on to the ugly, there is quite an ugly thing with this car, and that's the servicing on them. It's an engine out service car, so that's about $5,000 to $6,000, which sucks. I mean, there's no way around it. It sucks. But that's the only ugly thing to me. Okay, so getting back to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Come on now. This car is beautiful. It's timeless. And it's one of my personal favorite designs, not only by Pininfarina, but designs ever put onto a Ferrari. Now, another great thing are those pop-up headlights. I'll put those up in a little bit. Here, we'll take a quick peek on the inside. Something cool is this is how you kind of open the car. I think they got that design a lot from Testarossa, as the 348 and this both open up right there, and both also have the door lock right here. As you look at the inside, these cars, again, I just love the look of them, even down to the steering wheel. The only other car, I believe, Ferrari that has that style of steering wheel is the 456. If there's another one, let me know in the comments, but I believe that's the only one. Something that's pretty cool I didn't know about is there's a company, and I imagine there's more than one, that can actually recolor these seats. And they actually came out just today to redo them, as these right here along this whole edge were not beat up but worn, and they're able to make it look like brand new. So I'll give you a quick layout. You're able to do your suspension, your lights, door locks, come down here, seat adjustments, air conditioning control, your gas lock, all of your controls are right there. Your gauges, your fuel gauge, your temperature gauge, and a clock. And then your main gauges are right here. Now, if you're going to buy one of these cars, there's a couple of things you can keep in mind. Great thing is this car compared to most of the cars, well, here, a great comparison would be the 993 Porsche, which have just skyrocketed. These cars you could find, and they're not ridiculous money, and they're a lot of fun, obviously. So you could get a good one ranging from 80 to about 120. It depends greatly on the mileage and wear, obviously. But like I was saying, is you could get them, and they're not that much money. And the only real money is the servicing. But the servicing, like I said, if that's going to cost you $5,000 to $6,000 every few years or several thousand miles, whatever it is first, it's not going to be a deal killer, especially when you compare this. Let's say you get one of these for $100, you compare it to a 993 turbo, which is going to put you back, I don't know, 150 to 200, and those are going to have miles, where you could get one of these for a low mileage one like this with under 5,000 miles is going to put you back closer to the 120 range, where one with miles, you're looking at 15, 20,000 miles is going to put you back obviously underneath the 100 grand mark, but realistically you're looking at about 80,000. So I grabbed this, kind of give you guys also a better idea. If you don't have this book, this is probably my favorite Ferrari book. Like I was saying with production numbers, so the great thing with these is you can get them in the manual gearbox. And the F1, if you talk to anybody, I've never heard anyone say an F1 gearbox in this car is any good. So, as you see here, see if that, there you go. So the Berlinetta, the GTS, And the Spider, as you see, those top 3 of the 4, made, what is that? 5, 6, call it 8,000 model or 8,000 production, all in the manual. Now you look below the bottom 3 F1s, you're looking at, what is that? A little, about 2,500. And you're adding out, I believe these guys right here, I believe those are all F1 transmission cars. And the Challenger, I'm not quite sure, but I believe those are also manual cars. So you're looking at, you know, less than a third of the production in F1, which is great. That means you're able to actually go out there and get a manual gearbox car. Turn around to the back, show you the engine compartment. Hey guys, somehow the video that I made for the 355 didn't get uploaded entirely onto YouTube. It cut off the rear end of it for some reason. So I'm gonna try to add on as best as I can, because I kind of deleted the files already for it, on the remaining part of the video. That way you guys kind of get an idea for it. So I do remember talking a lot about the exhaust system. You could go with an aftermarket exhaust, like a tubey exhaust, and they sound unreal, which is pretty impressive to say because this car already sounds quite amazing. And the tubey exhaust, and well, I should take that back. I don't know if it's the tubey exhaust, but I do know that aftermarket exhaust systems allow you to shoot flames, and that's obviously is badass. But there is one major downfall with an aftermarket exhaust. Now, bear with me. I know I'm not going to explain this exactly right, as this has been a little over, what, 3 weeks since I made the first video. And when I made that first video, I was talking to a Ferrari mechanic, and he said, if you see that little thing right down here, it's not going to focus for some reason. There we go. That's part of the exhaust system. And Ferrari did an amazing job with this system. Now, when you're driving this car, you know, hard in the hills or wherever you're at, it when you downshift, it compresses using that part. Again, I'm sorry, I don't remember what the exact item of that is called, but it helps compress with the exhaust, and it allows you to add that much more RPMs when you get out of that turn or whatever you may be doing for downshifting. So when you start to shift back up, you automatically have more RPMs. Again, I'm sorry, I know I didn't explain that exactly correctly, but you get the idea. The standard exhaust, the original exhaust on these cars, is, for performance reasons, is the best exhaust, even though aftermarket exhaust systems do sound better and shoot flames. But that's just me. If you have one of these cars, you're able to do whatever you want with it. The car doesn't have a license plate on it just yet. Haven't had the time to do it. Got the car out of Minnesota. Overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out and how the process went. Now, when you look to go buy one of these, obviously you're going to look at the wear, such as road chips and the seat wear. Now, I already had said, I believe in the original video, is these tend to wear pretty well, the side bolsters. But what's pretty cool with Ferrari is there's people that go around and they actually can like re-stain these in a way. And this one is actually re-stained maybe 2 weeks ago. Just the seat bolster right here. And it looks like it's brand new. I'm thrilled. I'm very happy with it. Now, another thing that you want to watch out for with these cars, let's see if you can see it, right here. See how all right around here, how it's starting to peel up the leather? You can kind of see it right here, see where the staples are. Ferrari was pretty cheap with their leather back in this day. They made it too short, so when they put it around the items that they were doing it on, sometimes it tended to shrink, and it didn't have any room to shrink since it was already such a tight piece of leather. So you can kind of see it too around the airbag right there. You see how it's peeling on both corners. So it's just something else, to keep in mind if you're looking at one of these. And then this is an obvious one, is, see that? The struts have gone bad. Not that big of a deal. I actually ordered new ones through Ferrari down here, and I think it was like $25 a strut, so it really wasn't that bad. But that's just something to keep in mind. you look at this car, I just think it's absolutely stunning. My original plan was to find a Berlinetta coupe. That's really my favorite, but I couldn't pass up on a low-mileage Spider. They made them in, obviously, the Spider, the Berlinetta, which is the coupe, and then the GTS, which is the target top. I think I already mentioned that earlier in the video. But the wedge shape on this, I think this is one of the prettiest designs ever by Pininfarina and Ferrari. And like I said earlier, this is in my top 5 Ferraris, and I think I'd have to argue top 5 cars of all time. It sounds unreal. Gated shifters, awesome. It's just wicked. It's just such a cool car. And one of my friends said it best. If you're in the 90s and you were a stock market guy, did a line of coke and you had a 355. But I think he kind of got that from Wolf of Wall Street. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more. I'll be putting up more videos shortly.